Welcome back, everybody. It's the afternoon. It's time for the next block of the live stream, and we're really excited to be here with Tim and with Angela. And I have to say that that Gus video makes me smile every time. And I maybe have seen it between 100 and 200 times. I don't know, but the music is perfect. So congratulations on that production. That's a heck of a lot of fun. What'd you guys think of the morning?
Awesome. I mean, awesome for a lot of reasons. Obviously, I really have enjoyed some of the conversations that we've had on the live stream. But what I like seeing is states illuminating, that dollar value going up, all of the donations that are coming in. We've been walking across campus now for the last couple of hours since we've been off the live stream. I've been enjoying watching the cookies. Frost Your Own Cookies be delivered to our faculty and staff. So for those of you tuning in who aren't on campus, alongside Give to Gustavus Day and all that we're doing to encourage Gusties all around the world to give, we also encourage folks here on campus to give during this time as part of our faculty staff campaign. And the cool thing about that is that when people give a gift, we hand deliver them some thanks, some high fives, some Gusty cheer, and their very own Frost Your Own cookie. So that's been fun to watch.
It's been just a great morning. On the social media that's tied with this event, and all my friends and my children and other people that are watching and texting me saying, hey, your collar's bent or your mic doesn't look great. Thanks for all the feedback. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But it is just, again, the conversations, that 7 minutes, 8 minutes goes so fast when you know how much passion the people have, the work that they're doing, and they really do love this place, gang. And thank you so much for supporting the work that we do, to look up here and see the money that we've raised and see all the people from the different states and all around the world. This is a really fun day. Tom just said we always sleep well after this event, but also beforehand, it's just that the kind of, you get the little goosebumps when you go on camera, and it's just really a lot of fun. So thank you all for supporting Gustavus, for all the things that you do to let people know in the life that you're living, that you making your lives count, and that Gustavus is important to you and representing us the way that you do. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just put a post on Facebook. We have a neat photo of the set here. Want to give another shout out to everybody who helped design it, put it together, and help make this possible, help us put our best foot forward. You probably know, friends watching, we've got a terrific crew here at Gustavus, and just do a remarkable job on days like today, or whether it's commencement or Nobel Conference graduation. So thanks to everybody who's helping make this possible today. It's a lot of money on the cusp right now.
Yeah.
We are closing in on our 50-state challenge. And I don't want to say anything about our friends in Alabama and Mississippi. Once in a while, we need to give them a gentle nudge. So if you have friends in Alabama and Mississippi, let's take care of that before Hawaii comes in. But it's $50,000, and that'll be a huge bump for us to get up in that $100,000 range on our way to $500,000. And then we know, we've all been to meetings that start right after the lunch hour, and sometimes it's a little bit, slower. And that's why we have the power hour going on right now, and that is from 11 until 2. It starts right now. I think we need about another 140 gifts to turn another tile. But between the 50-state challenge and the power hour, we're talking about $60,000 into our pledge total. And that'll really move us forward as we look forward to the afternoon with the matching from the board and all kinds of fun things going on.
Yeah. Well, and fingers crossed, right? We need your help. But, within these next 2 hours that we'll be on live, some of those things should happen.
Absolutely.
And so those are the times when we cheer. We stop in the middle of the interview and we're like, yeah, a huge bucket of money just got dumped into that total, which is a total blast. Yeah, it's been it's been really a lot of fun to connect, and all three of us work in roles here with the college that serve as that bridge between what's happening here and what's happening out there. And I love what you said, Tim, about the people that we have on the interviews on days like today. They don't always get a ton of opportunities to interact with our alumni and parents and friends out there. So this really is a special chance for them to showcase what's going on, and they absolutely eat it up. So for those of you
They
out
do.
there who didn't get enough out of those 5 to 7 minute interviews, because the time does fly, and you want to know more about what's happening in education or what's happening on the academic side of the house or what's happening with
Career
Lund,
Center.
Career
Yeah.
Center. I mean, there's so much good happening, and we've got so many wonderful staff and faculty around here that are happy to share more of those stories. So send us a note. Alumni at gustavus.edu will come right to me, and I'll be happy to facilitate. But Tim's email's out online, Tom's is too, and we're happy to make those connections for you.
Angela, we had a terrific morning. Do you have any idea who might be with us this afternoon?
Oh my gosh, I do. Give me a second.
We
Hold
also
everything.
say that we have a nice, fresh new website for everybody to look
That's
at
right.
and
That's
reach
right.
out and connect with all of the people on campus. And we hope that you do that. Gustavus.edu. Really exciting new opportunities for you to learn more about the people you heard from this morning and that we're going to hear from this afternoon. And a lot of new features, ways for you to get engaged, ways to be involved. So please check out Gustavus.edu. We're really excited about the new look of the Gustavus website.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really flashy. It really looks sharp. And,
Thanks.
it always takes some getting used to. I
Yes.
know. We always get feedback, well, where's this? Or, I used to be able to click, click, click and know exactly where I'm going. That always takes a little bit of adjustment. But hey, if you spend a few minutes on it and tinker around a little bit, you'll realize that the navigation is really pretty slick.
I think
Shou-
it is.
Shout out, Tim, to your team at GTS. Terrific
Thank you.
partnership to
Appreciate it.
launch that 3 weeks ago.
Yes, just about 4 weeks ago
September.
now.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. What do we
Okay,
got
Tom,
this afternoon?
as requested, here's some of the things that we've got up for Midday. So right after this, we're going to be visiting, Tim, you are going to be visiting with Doug Thompson, our
Really excited
new
about that.
Vice President for Equity and Inclusion. He's just a gem of a human being. He's hit the ground running. That'll be a great conversation.
Unbelievable hire. Really excited. He's
Yeah.
quickly become a friend and someone that I'm excited to work with, and really excited to talk to him about
Yeah.
his work.
He's
Yeah.
a cool guy. And,
man.
some of the little known facts about him, like the fact that he has played saxophone, like for big time football bowl
Two
games
presidents,
or,
Super Bowl. Yeah, he's
It's
played
like
all over the world.
The guy's legit.
Yeah.
So yeah, tune
7
into
minutes
that.
will not be long enough.
Yes, he's much
Exactly.
cooler than I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. So, one of the fun silver linings of this past year and a half of COVID has been our familiarity with technology, right? And so last year, people might recall that we did all of our live stream in sort of a Zoom-esque environment, right? Where we had people tuning in from a variety of locations. We couldn't have more than one person in a particular spot. But I'm going to be tuning in virtually with 3 of our Gustavus class officers from the class of 1985.
Oh, nice.
They've been longtime volunteers and rah-rah Gusties out there. So that'll be really fun. But they'll be tuning in from wherever they find themselves today, not here on campus. So that'll be cool and a really good conversation. Let's see. Tom, what have you got on the agenda?
We've got 3 of our international students.
Well, that's tonight. Yep, absolutely. And you've got, you're visiting with Jonas this
Yep.
afternoon to talk about student life.
I'm actually making a top 10 list of things why it's great to be from the class of 88 that we're going to go over.
Oh, so right.
That could
That'll
take a
occupy,
while. Do you have
yeah.
enough time?
Well, we won't dwell on each of them.
In addition to that conversation with Jonas, we are going to have folks from the Wellness and Wellbeing Center here on campus come for a conversation this afternoon too. I think Amy Visner, when I was visiting with her about education, one of the things that's going on in education and everywhere else is the importance of being mindful about mental health. And so, talking about what resources and opportunities are available for our students to make sure that we are cultivating and taking care of the whole student, right? Not just on the academic side and some of those supports that might be necessary to launch them into their life beyond the hill, but to make sure that they're feeling good and they're navigating this complex world that we're living in.
There's lots of pressures,
Yeah.
on everyone. But at the same time, this is an environment where there are so many people here that are looking out for you and want to help and want to make sure that, hey, if you're having some issues, there's somebody to talk to about it. There are people that are going to help you. There's a community. It's a village, right? And so that's what we're going to do. I'm also excited for the opportunity to talk to Kathy Thunheim about the strategic plan. And Rich Awney about what's happening with enrollment. So I think there's going to be lots of really fun conversations here this afternoon. Encourage you to watch and give and join us because it's Give to Gustavus Day, folks. And so please help us out.
I just want to say that we're down to 6 states.
Are we?
Yeah.
Listen, okay,
It looks
so
like our
Tom,
friends in
clearly you're
Mississippi.
influential. Those folks were listening. Louisiana and Mississippi were listening to you, and they heard you say that that we needed their help, and they delivered.
There we go.
We
Nice.
need we all three of us have a good friend in Las Vegas, and Nevada is still white.
Oh.
So we need to make sure that we get that filled in and turn it gold there. If you know who I'm shouting out to, let's get on the phone,
Yeah.
Mr. White.
Yeah, we'll toss it over to a video here in a second. Y'all can pull out your cell phones and get on the horn.
We'll
but
text them.
the one segment that I'm looking forward to, Tim, thanks for bringing up those that you're visiting with, women in sport. We're going to talk about today, right? We're coming up on the 50-year anniversary of Title IX legislation in this country that really ushered in tons of opportunities for women in sport here at Gustavus and across the country. We're going to talk to Gretchen Kohler. We're going to talk to Sarah Walter, and we're going to talk to Ro, who is our current volleyball coach. So
Fantastic.
that'll be a blast. And I'll be visiting with them as a student athlete here at Gustavus. So that ought to be a really good conversation too.
So here we go.
Here we go.
It's time.
I think
Afternoon
the
time.
$100,000 match looks like it has started, and we're just closing in on $70,000. Let's get that midday power hour. It's gone up to 75 donors. We're down to 125 to make that work, and we're down to 6 states to get that $50,000 match. So let's make that happen as quick as we can.
Love it.
Are we
Sounds
gonna,
good.
do you want to introduce the video?
We'll toss it over to a video. It's going to be a mystery and a surprise for us. We don't know what's coming next, but when we come back, Tim's going to be talking to Doug Thompson.
Looking forward. See you soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Go Gusties.
I see we've got solar panels here. I have no idea what is this sort of piece over here. It looks like there's a series of those like viewing scopes that you would see on the boardwalk somewhere. Is it something like that?
It is kind of like that. So that's our observing platform, and we have telescopes that that are smaller than the one in the dome, but still quite powerful, that we can roll up to each one of those posts and place on there. And one of the big things for us with this observing platform is that we are making it accessible to everyone, because space belongs to all of us. So we have a bunch of LED strips that illuminate in red to not obstruct our vision at night. We have visibility tape along the railings to have contrast between the stones in the background, and we have fluorescent tape on all of the telescope stands.
That's very cool. I love all of that. And so, I don't know, like, can you tell me just a little bit about, you get to bring students up here and bring them into this connection with space, and I don't know, what's that like, or like, what do you get to hear from them?
It's so fun. So we like to do star parties for the public. We'll have the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts come here. Professors will bring their kids. If someone has family visiting, we'll come up here. And getting to really map out the constellations and look at some planets, especially when we have students see Saturn for the first time through the telescope. It's really magical. It's so beautiful. And it really makes you put things into perspective, because everything that makes up space, the planets, the stars, us, it's all the same baryonic matter that formed at the start of the universe during our Big Bang. And everything's just been recycled as stars live and die and new stars are born. So it really makes us all connected, and I think helps people look past any differences that we all have and recognize that we are all human, and therefore we should treat everybody with dignity.
That is the most beautiful, wonderful thing I can think of to end on this. So it's Give to Gustavus Day, whether it is for that dignity of all people and or because right now Gustavus is trying to make sure everybody is able to come up here on top of Olin and see and experience space, because as you said, it belongs to all of us. These are all amazing reasons to support Gustavus and this kind of work that's happening right now. So Sarah, thank you so much for giving us this tour. This was beautiful.
You're welcome.
All right. Yay!
And we're back. Good to have you all. We just got that quick refreshing course on space with Darcy Donnellan, who's one of those amazing people at Gustavus who's so gifted and relates to students in such a fantastic way. Also during that time, our kind of one of our sub themes for today is Gustavus food. So they put some party potatoes in front of us. No forks, nothing to eat it with. So Doug said to me, are we just going to grab it and eat it right out of the tray? And I said, nah, we probably shouldn't do that. So we won't. You really didn't say that. No, you didn't. I just want you to know that I am excited to introduce to all of you and welcome to me here on the Gustavus live stream, Mr. Doug Thompson, who has become a very quick friend and someone that I have great pride in working with here at Gustavus. And he has a really interesting backstory. We're not going to have time to get into that today, but comes from New Orleans, Louisiana, has been up north here for a while, and adjusted pretty well. And we'll let him talk about that. But Doug, welcome.
Thank you.
To the live stream. We're really pleased to have you here, man.
I'm so happy to be here.
And the other thing that he does so well is he rocks bow ties. I mean, he has these bow ties, and he adds a sense of class that I aspire to. So he's going to teach me how to tie a bow tie, and I'm going to get to work on wearing some bow ties to work.
Only if you give me some of that Gusty gear.
Oh, that's a deal. I can do that.
All right.
Awesome. That's
All
an
right.
easy one, since I do have enough of it. So, hey, Doug, we as we get started here, I want to just say that, this is something that Gustavus, your position and the role that you are filling for Gustavus right now, is something that we have aspired to for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's always when you begin something at a place, there's the little pressure, right? And everybody's, looking at Doug to step in and kind of fulfill the dreams that we've set forth for many years. And now you're here and you're doing it. Can you just talk to us a little bit about how your first months have been here and how you feel about moving into the Gusty life here on the Hill in St. Peter?
Yeah, well, thank you, Tim. It feels amazing, first and foremost. I believe I walked into an amazing opportunity. So much work has been done already. A great foundation. I'm excited that I get to work with a lot of wonderful people, a lot of amazing teammates, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and even some community members. So I think this is, it's been an amazing 3 months almost. And it's been, once I came in August, I hit the ground and I started running, haven't looked back since. So it's been great.
Well, you have been doing an amazing job. You also, as a part of all of that, are building your own team. You have a new division.
Yes.
And I would love for you to share with the audience who is a part of your team now and what is it that the work you're doing and your division, what are they called and who's with you?
Yes, this is the great part about it. We had a great meeting this morning and I shared with the team how fortunate I feel to be able to lead them because we have committed people. We have 3 key units that make up this new division right now. It's a center, first I'll start with the Academic Support Center, our Center for Inclusive Excellence, and the Center for International and Cultural Education. And if you think about it, within this new division, we get to touch every area of our institution. Wow. We're focusing on academics, we're focusing on international students, we're focusing on equity, on diversity, on culture, on intersectionality. So we're covering all things within these units so that we can make an impact on the community. And it's been amazing to build this new team, to just see it unfold. Every month we're learning more about each other and how we can better serve our community.
One of the things that you've done that I love is that you have office hours all over campus and you go and sit places and just listen and talk with people. Yeah. What are you learning? What are you hearing? Yeah,
that's been an important aspect of the work. Just going where the people are. I think it was necessary to go on this listening and learning tour and to figure out what we can do as an institution to support them, to learn what their pain points are, their motivators, how they view diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's been so helpful. I think what I have learned, at least in the first few meetings, is that people are super excited about the work. They want next steps. They want to be engaged. They want to take it to the next level. And the quote that I came up with that really resonates with where I believe we are is a quote from Maya Angelou, kind of paraphrasing, but when you know better, you do better, basically. And I feel like as a community, we're in a place where we've discovered some things about ourselves as individuals and as an institution, and now we're in the process of trying to do better. And I feel like the steps, our community wants steps, and the key thing that stood out is learning, engagement, and learning opportunities.
Yep.
We want to continue that. That's something I walked into last year. It was a great experience for our community to continue learning and to have a lot of participation. But what I've discovered is that we want to continue on that trajectory to learning. And my message to the community is we don't want to just do it for one semester, for one academic year, but we want to make diversity, equity, and inclusion a lifelong learning experience.
I love that, and that ties in so closely with our mission, right?
Yes,
About lifelong
absolutely.
learning, and that's why it makes it so interesting. You know, many of people, I think today, who are watching maybe are seeing you for the first time and getting a chance. They maybe saw the story on the web, and
Right.
they're going to see your work. How are some ways that they can reach out to you? How are you interacting with alumni, and what kind of ways would you like to say, hey, engage with me, talk to me?
No, that's a great question. And to your last question, the office hours have helped.
Yeah.
Because I have been able to reach out with faculty, students, and even alumni. During the homecoming weekend, I had an opportunity to have a diversity, equity, and inclusion roundtable, which I got to meet so many different people, and they are aware about our office hours. I guess they look at the calendar and they see, hey, you know, I might be on campus during this time, I'll stop by. I've even had board of trustee members that say, hey, I see you got these office hours. I might want to come by and talk to you. So I think it's an opportunity for people to let their thoughts and feelings be known, because I feel like we're very thoughtful as we move forward in this process. And I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Well, I tell you what, folks, we got a bona fide first-round draft pick, #1 pick in Doug Thompson, and we are in really good hands as we move ahead, thinking about equity and inclusion at Gustavus. And I would encourage you to reach out to him, get to know him. We here on campus have already experienced that, and it is an amazing opportunity. So, Doug, thank you. I look forward to being a part of your work, and we're going to do this together.
Yeah, thank you,
And
too.
thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, everybody, stay on the live stream here. We're going to come up with another video, and we will get right back to you in just a couple more minutes with another feature on Give to Gustavus Day. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, I'm Tane Danger, and I'm with
Luke Yang.
Hi, Luke. So we are going to walk through this magical portal into the Center for Inclusive Excellence.
Yes.
I love it. Can you tell me a little bit about this place? When I was at Gustavus, we had the Diversity Center.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, we unfortunately had the Center for Exclusive Mediocrity. And this seems like this is the new space.
Yeah. So, you know, this space is where the old dive used to be. And I think, you know, everyone on campus is at least happy that we have this space that's 6 times bigger than the old Diversity Center space. And it's just completely transformed from what it used to be, from the sort of dark and grimy, sort of dingy dive dance area that people wouldn't frequent until Friday night when there's a dive dance.
Right. And so, like, this, when I was here, was like where we would rent movies and DVDs. I assume you still rent VHS tapes and things like that.
Well, you might have dated yourself with that one, but
That's
I think
fine. It's okay.
Yeah, this is just a space for people to hang out, make snacks. There's usually never food in the dive, so it's good that this is here now.
And just tell me about, like, there's an expanded space, but the Center for Inclusive Excellence, it does sound very impressive. What's the philosophy behind that shift from Diversity Center to Inclusive Excellence?
Yeah, I think you know, in our talks with sort of Tom and Kareem, their philosophy on inclusive excellence holds that, you know, diversity is a very sort of heavy term sometimes when people think about it. And when you think about diversity, if you're not thinking critically about it, then it's only about, you know, race or ethnicity. So then when they wanted to rebrand it and say inclusive excellence, and that means people who are LGBTQ+, who are non-binary, who are intersex and all that stuff. So we really want to highlight the spectrum of the Center for Inclusive Excellence.
That's very good. And look, there's all these different spaces down here. I don't even know how it's possible. It feels like this, in addition to being larger than the Diversity Center is just like you're using all these different things. What are some of the things that like happen in here?
Yeah, so obviously we have all these new meeting spaces and conference spaces. I know that, right now the staffs for the CIE meet in there, but these are also available to schedule or block out for reservations for studying. So this is really, really great for students. They want to have a private space to get away even within this safe space and work on something or have an interview or something like that. It's very important that they have access to those things and they don't have to fight for a room in back or Olin or stuff like that.
Yeah, those were like brutal fights. Like, I want to study here. No,
Right.
I will study here. And then you just had to like take out your battle axe or whatever it is.
Something like that, yeah.
But now you have all these wonderful places. What is Lyric Cafe?
Yeah.
I see signs for this all over.
So the Lyrical Cafe is a showcase for students of color that's performance-based. It could be storytelling, it could be spoken word, it could be singing, it could be dancing. So it's a storytelling showcase that's performance-based, and that happens on the last Friday of every month.
Cool.
And this whole space is filled with students, and this is the performance space right here. So this obviously looks like a conference space or a study space now, but it also still doubles as a dance floor or performance spot. And it's really important that Lyrical Cafe happens because we can have those showcases where people can showcase their heritage, showcase their culture, showcase the stories that they want to tell.
That's very cool. So I love that this space, again, like daytime, there's like studying and meetings and things, and then it comes alive with art and things happening. And it's a good, it's a good thing to have like a physical place, but also like connect people. And as you talked about, like making it feel that everyone is included here and this is their home.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to say that, in my 4 years, I never really frequented the D Center, but in this Center for Inclusive Excellence, there's a big open doorway. I think there's a lot to say about the physical sort of funneling or being able to look into that old D Center and say, do I want to go in there? It seems like a really, tight space. Even though it is a safe space, I think this is physically as a space, you feel welcomed in. You don't feel like there's a doorway or a gateway that you have to walk through. And I think that's great for all students. And again, at the Lyrical Cafe, people are learning and they're enjoying and they're appreciating culture. So I think this space, again, just serves as a whole, crossroads or a bridge for people to come together and learn about different cultures.
So, Center for Inclusive Excellence, if you are giving today for Give to Gustavus Day, this is the kind of thing that you are supporting. Spaces like this where students can come together, study, be themselves, do art, perform, all these amazing things. This is exactly the kind of thing that you are supporting. So thank you so much for giving me the tour.
Yes.
One last question, just throwing back to an earlier segment we did. Have you ever noticed just wet footprints around here, and maybe just like the moans of a ghost that seems to be looking for his clothes?
I think it might be bad to just say I notice random wet spots, but I mean, maybe that's students spilling water bottles, but you never know. I mean, you hear about the cow in Old Main and all that stuff, so could be anything.
Well, spooky. All right, thank you so much for
Thank you
showing
so
us
much,
around.
Dan.
All right, I'm gonna leave some clothes out. Okay, thank you all so much. Give to Gustavus.
Hey, welcome back, Gusties. I know it's Give to Gustavus Day. We're in our afternoon segment, and as I alluded to at the opener of this 2-hour segment, we're doing some remote conversations today, too, because we learned a lot from the last year when we had to do it all remote because of what was going on with the pandemic. So I have here with me in this segment 3 of our rock star class officers. And I say rock star because they're amazing people, but not only are they amazing people, they were this year's recipients of our Class Officers of the Year award. So they are award winning, and we are thrilled to be able to bring them to you today. Go ahead and wave for me. Kathy Harms. Can you hear me?
No sound.
Oh,
We
no.
can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Okay, nobody's hearing me.
Now we
Now
can.
we are.
Okay, now we
Okay,
can.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, that's helpful. We could tell
That
you were talking, but we just
much
didn't
better.
hear your valuable
Yeah.
information.
Well, I was just talking you up. So, luckily for you, I wasn't throwing you under the bus or anything. In fact, I was talking about how your award winning class officers are class officers of the year this year. So, Kathy Harms, can you give us a wave? All right. And Cheryl Buck. And Todd Crow. All right. Welcome, everybody. So, one of the reasons that I wanted to visit with you all is because you have found a variety of ways to give back to Gustavus. Obviously, today is Give to Gustavus Day. It's all about raising lots of dollars for that Gustavus Fund, bringing in lots of new donors, bringing everybody jumping in the pool together. But the truth is, there are a lot of ways to give back to Gustavus and contribute to the life of the college. I'm going to throw it over to you, Kathy, first, because I know you've been a class officer for a long time. You were on the alumni board. You're a faculty member now at Gustavus. I want to talk to you just for a minute about what giving back to the college sort of means for you, and how have you demonstrated that in some of your engagements with the institution?
You know, my husband and I both graduated from Gustavus, and giving back to Gustavus is something that has been important to us ever since we've been married. And we make it an annual tradition to participate in the fund just like today. Mm-hmm. And we also support scholarships for students, which I think is really important. But what I really love about giving to Gustavus, there are so many different ways. Not only volunteering your time, being on the alumni board, but even the Gusties that volunteer their companies to work with my students is just an amazing thing. When I first started teaching 5 years ago, I had no companies for my students to do projects for. And sure enough, class of 85 stepped up and 10 different companies stepped in and we did projects for them. So I appreciate that we have the opportunity to reach out to alums and that they can work with our students and give back that way, because it's really powerful. Not only does it help the company because they're getting new eyes and a new perspective on their marketing strategy, but it helps the students so much to give them that real life experience.
Yeah, I love that. And, like you say, Kathy, it really is about us helping to facilitate those organic connections and conversations between current students on campus, maybe prospective students, right, or families who might be considering Gustavus, and that alumni experience for those who have graduated, whether it's recent grads or folks who have been off the hill for a while. So I really appreciate the ways in which, especially, in your arrival a few years ago as a faculty member, you've helped us to facilitate some of those connections. I know they've been valuable on both ends. Todd, you have been part of the mentoring program. You have been on the alumni board also. You're currently serving, I think, in your last year, if I'm remembering correctly. And you've also been involved with Gusties in Business. Can you talk a little bit about those ways in which you've been giving back and some of the things that you're most excited about in the ways that you've been contributing?
It's sad that this is going to be my last year. This is my 6th year. By the way, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. Thanks.
Yeah, this will be my 6th year as an alumni board member. I think this is my 6th year as a mentor for the mentoring program. And, that's really grown. I think we're over, is it 400 kids now? Is that?
Yeah,
we're
just shy of 400, this year.
Yeah, so 400. And really like seeing that grow. And in fact, the last year and this year, my mentees were both freshmen. So it's really impressive that they've come out. And, I really appreciate getting to know the kids. Whenever I'm on campus for the alumni board or homecoming or Christmas in Christ Chapel, I always try to reach out to the kids to, hear about their backgrounds, why they chose Gustavus. So I think a lot of the giving that I give back, or I talk to my friends that give back, we know it's for the kids because, this is our future, right? So we've got these unbelievable kids. I say back in my day, these kids are so sharp with their ACT scores and their GPAs. I don't know if I would have been able to get into Gustavus these days. So, and then Gusties in Business is a great mentoring program or a connecting program that you've helped out, which I think you call the Gusties Professionals. And I think it was about 3 years ago that we started the Gusties in Business, and we meet every other month. And right now it's basically people that are in the business world that connect. We've had great speakers, so I encourage anybody that wants to join that. There is a LinkedIn profile called Gusties in Business. But I know that you, Angela, also are having other professionals like the Gusties in education and medicine also that we're trying to build up.
Yeah, we know that based on what we've heard on alumni surveys and other feedback that we get, that some of the ways that folks want to be connected to the college or find great value in staying connected to the college is through those professional connections, right? And Kathy, you mentioned it, sort of student to alumni connections, but they're a little bit more professional in nature. That alumni to alumni networking is something that people really find value in, and so I've been really grateful for you and those other folks in the Gusties in Business kind of steering committee to be our guinea pigs to a certain extent, to kind of pilot that model of helping to facilitate those connections. And yeah, right now we're trying to get that launched for some of the other industry areas that could also benefit from some of that networking and career connections. So yeah, thank you for all you're doing there. Now, Cheryl, I know you have been sort of center of the universe for your reunion committee and reunion planning, and that's been a really valuable way for you to have given back, not only time and attention to planning, but also in the ways that you're trying to build connections with your classmates and encourage them to come back to the Hill. Can you talk a little bit about why that's important to you and what you've helped to do to really get people excited about reunion weekend in '85?
Sure, of course. First of all, I'm relatively new to the class officer rank, so I joined specifically to work on the class reunion, and I was very honored to be asked. I was thrilled with the number of people that answered the call to actually join the committee, because when I was responsible for it, I reached out to classmates and had them reach out to classmates and really engage people to come in and plan to bring people back to the Hill to connect. So with the class reunion committee, there were a variety of ways that people were able to connect. So we had people write a variety of class letters. It was a great way to engage a range of people instead of just the class officers writing letters. Each person reached out to their network to really generate enthusiasm about Gustavus. We shared updates with people about what was going on campus, encouraged people to come back to campus for the class reunion. We had several in-person meetings before the whole COVID situation started. Mm-hmm. And we just told stories and we laughed and we talked about ways that we could reach out to people and how could we make the class reunion extremely special. I have to say that Carla and Zach from Gustavus were really instrumental in helping us bring people together and make those connections too. Unfortunately, COVID didn't enable us to get together, and we were all super disappointed about that. But I was so thrilled with the engagement. I was thrilled with the participation. I was thrilled with how excited people were to have conversations about their experience at Gustavus and really share and reminisce and talk about what they've done and what they were grateful for. One of the common themes that came out consistently in our planning committee was how grateful everybody on the committee was for the lifelong friends, for the terrific education that Gustavus was able to provide us, for the critical thinking skills, and really a general sense of belonging. So it was a terrific experience, and I really hope we'll get to have a class reunion in 2025 for our 40th.
We will. Come hell or high water, we will have a reunion for you all. It's been so hard, and classes like yours who put so much time and effort into encouraging everybody to get excited about coming back to campus, and then to have, COVID derail some of those plans. It has been heartbreaking for us, but, it is the world that we're living in right now. So we will make it up to you. When we get a chance to bring you back to campus, we will make it up to you all. I really appreciate what you said, Cheryl, about starting small, right? You're a recent addition to this group of folks that are helping to make those connections, keep your class connected with one another in the college. And it's kind of a snowball effect, right? If I'm hearing you correctly, you start with one conversation, and then you reach out to somebody else. And next thing you know, you've got a good sized committee assembled. You've got everybody reaching out to their respective networks. And then you've got a lot of excitement building. I mean, part of the reason that, you all were named our class officers of the year this year is because you really helped us make a significant jump in giving in your class. And that's where that comes from too, right? So those conversations, those one-on-one connections, you can start small and eventually it snowballs into something really exciting. So, I wish we could have another 10, 20, 30 minutes to talk about all of the great ways that you all have been contributing to Gustavus, but thank you to each of you for all of the ways that you have volunteered volunteered your time, your talents, your treasures to Gustavus. Thanks for being rah-rah Gusties out there. Where are you tuning in from? I should have asked that. Where are you tuning in from today?
I'm in Black Duck, Minnesota.
Black Duck. Okay, perfect. Todd, how about you?
I'm in downtown Minneapolis.
Okay, excellent. And Kathy?
Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Apple Valley. Okay, the beauty of technology. I love it. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you all. Take care. We're going to toss it over to a video. We'll be back in a few minutes. Go Gusties.
Go Gusties.
Hi, I'm Tane Danger. This is Give to Gustavus Day, and I am, of course, inside Gustavus's beautiful Christ Chapel, and I'm here with Siri Erickson. Hi.
Hello. Hi,
And
Tane.
what's your role here?
I'm chaplain of the college here.
You are chaplain,
Yes.
and we are celebrating a very big milestone for Christ Chapel.
We are. It's the 60th anniversary of the chapel.
This is so cool. I have a whole billboard of fun facts about 60 years of Christ Chapel. It's very cool. So I'm going to quiz you. I don't know.
Oh
this is
my gosh.
So approximately, according to this, how many weddings have we had in Christ Chapel?
60?
No.
300?
That's correct, 300. Yeah, just it's either 60 or 300. We're looking, this opening shot, this is so cool. You can see all the way up to the top of the spire, which is approximately
187 feet?
That is really good. That is a good chaplain. All right. And you've had 8 royal visits according to this?
Yes, many members of the Swedish royal family have been here, especially for like key celebrations of the college, like the sesquicentennial, 150 years of the college. We had a number of members of the royal family visiting.
And this is wild to me. More than 9,000 morning chapel services here.
Yes. Think about all the students that have participated in some way in those 9,000 services.
Well, let's take a walk to the back, because I feel like this space in particular is like really important and valuable to folks. I mean, I am curious from your perspective, like 60 years of this place being here, what does it mean to people?
Right, well, Christ Chapel has always been a place for both religious practice, community gathering, and academic learning. So we've had Nobel laureates in here, we've had tons of baccalaureate services, Christian worship, interfaith observances, choir rehearsals. So I think almost all of our Gustavus students have experiences and memories in this space in one of those different types of activities, or more than one.
And, things are constantly changing and evolving. Like, can you just give it, folks who maybe haven't been back on campus in a little bit, like, what's going on these days? What would people find if they showed up on a weekday or a weekend here?
Yeah, so we still do daily Sabbath or daily chapel every Monday through Friday. Here's our schedule right here. We also have a very active student Christian community that worships Sunday evening in the chapel, which is a little different than maybe 50 years ago. Last year was really interesting in the chapel, right, with COVID. So every Tuesday we turn the chapel over to a mass testing site for COVID. So students were coming in here.
Like the opposite of like communion is that you're giving a saliva sample.
You are. But religious spaces have always had multiple purposes.
Yeah. That's true.
And healing is central to the Christian tradition, and so it made sense to have the chapel be in service to testing and keeping our campus safe and healthy.
So last thing, again, it's hard to talk about the chapel without talking about this tragic tornado that hit the campus, tore down the spire of Christ Chapel, but that spire lives on.
It lives on.
Right here.
We keep it right here.
And so this is still here.
It's still here. It's a memory. It's a sign of the resilience of this community, and that Gustavus continues to rise and thrive even in the midst of difficult circumstances, whether it be the tornado or a global pandemic.
Well, that is beautiful. Thank you so much, Siri, for showing us around. This is beautiful. Thank you all for tuning in. It is Give to Gustavus Day. This beautiful place, this is the 60th anniversary of Christ Chapel, so 60 years of amazing celebrations, commemorations, services, memories, really special things. So hope that you got a little bit of a walk down memory lane and to see what's going on now. All right, so this is cool.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thank you. Yay!
Welcome back, everyone. It's an exciting afternoon. It's just rolling along, and I'm really pleased to have the Reverend Dr. Siri Erickson join me here today to talk about what you just all kind of got started with, and that is the 60 years of celebrating Christ Chapel. Man, time flies. Such a beautiful, timeless space.
It is, and our alums really love coming back to see the chapel, and I think just walking into that space evokes all kinds of memories for our alumni, and it's really a powerful testament to the timelessness of that beautiful space and the centrality of it in the life of the college.
Well, we're lucky to have it. I know a lot of people when they come to campus are in awe of that space. It's so unique.
Yes.
So, and it is the center of your work in many ways. I mean,
It is.
and I think your work is changing, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. So I'm excited to talk with you about that. And thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you
happy
being
to
here.
be here.
You know, I think one thing that people do ask me about, either from parents of alumni friends of mine or their students are visiting, how do students engage in their Christian faith at Gustavus today? And what is that like? And I know that's a big part of your work. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. All kinds of ways. So, there's the traditional things that people might think about, engaging in worship practices, of course. We have a very vibrant Sunday evening worshiping community on campus led by students, as well as Chaplain Maggie Falinchek, who's our Director of Campus Ministries here. And we have a large worship band, a very lively worship practices, even sometimes baptisms of students taking place in that space. But also, a lot of our students live out their faith in their daily life through serving their neighbor, through taking care of their classmates, through pursuing their vocations. And so we see all kinds of different ways in which students are living out their faith in their daily life.
And it's changing, right? I mean,
it is.
How that faith lives out, and we have to be aware of that. I know that's a big part of your work, and you and Maggie, Chaplain Maggie, do such a great job of that. And one of the things that we talk about, you have done a lot of work in the equity and inclusion work at Gustavus.
Yep.
And so we now have a much broader mix of the types of faiths and spiritual practices, or maybe not. And so how do you combine all of that and meeting the needs of all of our students, our Christian students, but then those of us around the community that have different faiths? What's your work like there?
Yeah. So both within our Christian community on campus, there's greater diversity, racially, culturally, denominationally. And then beyond Christianity, of course, we have students here at Gustavus from all of the world's major religious traditions. And we support them too. We love to help them celebrate their holidays and those important practices in their tradition. And our other Gustavus students like celebrating with each other and learning about each other's traditions and holidays. And so, for example, when it's Ramadan, that holy month of fasting in the Muslim tradition, we in our office support those students as they're fasting and also as they're breaking their fast. And then other Gusties love to celebrate and join in and learn about what does fasting mean in Islam and how is that the same or different as it might be in other religious traditions.
It's such a neat part, I think, of as our world has evolved. You can say the World Wide Web, the ways that we travel now, even except for COVID, of course, but it really has brought us tighter together. And I think I have been really pleased with how Gustavus is working towards being more inclusive and understanding and educating. And I know that's a really important part of your work, is that education part.
Right.
And we also now have a space, and you have talked about that a little bit and other times, and now a multi-faith space where students could take advantage of.
Yeah, we have a gorgeous multi-faith space which has, meditation mats in it and prayer rugs and yoga mats and candles and all kinds of different artifacts or pieces that people might want in the observance of their religious tradition or spiritual practice. And so it's just an amazing resource that we have here on campus for our students, and we try to keep it stocked with all the things that people might need to engage in prayer, meditation, reflection, and other important rituals.
Well, it is a beautiful space, and I
Yes.
know that we talk about well-being a lot at Gustavus, and I know that spiritual well-being is an important part of normal human well-being. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So we understand spiritual well-being as containing at least three components. One, we want our students to have a sense that they're connected to something bigger than themselves. And for our Christian students, that would be God and as known in Jesus. But everybody has a way in which they're connected to something larger than themselves, whether it be the natural world, a set of ethical values. You can imagine all kinds of ways. The second thing is developing a sense of purpose in one's life. And here at Gustavus, we talk about making your life count.
Yes.
That is why we exist as a college, is to help our students explore their vocation and how they can use their talents to make a difference in the world for the sake of other people, for our planet, tackle the great challenges of our time. And then also cultivating a sense of presence, being fully present in the moment, not always dwelling on the past or looking ahead to the future, but living our life in our own bodies in relationship with each other moment by moment. And so we really see those as core components of holistic well-being. And we are thinking all the time about creative ways in which we can help students engage in exploration of those three facets.
Well, thank you, Siri. It's important work. And we're really grateful for you and your team for all that you do
Thank
for
you.
our students and our community. It's not just our students are your focus, I get
Yes.
that, but there's a community here that has a
Yes.
strong faith and spiritual connection as
Right.
well. So thank you for being here and talking with me
yeah,
today.
Always love to.
Thanks, everyone. I hope that you'll connect through the website and through other ways that you can with the chaplain's office and Christmas in Christ Chapel, which is coming
Yes,
up.
coming right up.
So thanks, everybody. We're going to move on to another video here with Tane, and we're going to hear some organ music, I believe,
Oh,
with
yes,
Chad.
from Chad,
Yeah,
our
so-
cantor of Christ Chapel.
So we're excited
Yes,
about that.
Awesome.
So we hope you enjoy that. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Tane Danger. I'm a wizard. No, I'm not. I am wearing a choir robe because I'm standing here next to Mr. Chad Winterfeld, who is what is your title here?
Cantor of Christ Chapel.
Wow, that is that rolls off the tongue.
Doesn't it? Sounds very official.
Very official.
Yeah.
What does the Cantor of Christ Chapel do?
See, that's a good question because nobody really knows what the cantor does. So, what I do really is guide and lead all of the music in the chapel.
Wow.
So that means if there's organ playing, if there's a worship service with piano,
If there's somebody who just bursts into song, you have to come and accompany them.
I get like the bat signal, tells
Yeah.
me to come on over. I accompany the choirs.
Oh my goodness.
I lead the handbell choirs. We have a thriving youth thriving youth student praise band that leads worship on Sunday evenings. I don't really participate in that, but I make sure that they're doing their job.
Yeah.
So it's kind of both participatory and oversight.
That is a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just like what is a day like for you? Do you come in here, you like dust off the keys?
That's right. I come in, I practice, I will teach several organ lessons in a day. I will attend choral rehearsals as necessary. We have daily Sabbath, so I'm in here at 10 a.m. doing that every day. In the evenings, twice a week, I'm here with handbells. It's quite an active place.
Okay, this is a little bit off script, but I've actually always wondered, is it incredibly hard to learn the organ? Like if I'm looking for something this winter as a project?
Please do. Just call me. It's so easy. You only play with your hands and your feet.
Now I'm wondering what the other thing I would be playing with is. So, okay, so that's good. Are you willing to just play a little bit for us? Because I feel like
I'd love to play a little bit.
people would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will do.
Yeah, what are you going
Let's
to play
do it.
for us?
I'm going to play a little bit, kind of a very Swedish hymn, Children of the Heavenly Father.
Yeah,
Why
those
not?
Swedes, they were children of the Heavenly Father. Still are.
Still
largely.
are. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's good. All right, take us away.
All right.
That was very good. And
Wow.
it gave me, I felt like I wasn't dramatic enough before, so, and also I was a little
You gotta
cold.
fix this. This is your choir thing.
Yeah, this is my
That's wonderful.
Dicky. It's like, this is one of the best reasons I feel like to be in choirs. You don't have enough reasons to wear a Dicky otherwise. Like, so this gives me my excuse for.
My mother made me one when I was like 8.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope you still have it.
No, that was one of those experiences, right?
Very cool. So now that I'm properly dressed,
Yes.
would you be willing to show me around and show me a little bit of the organ?
Yeah, and maybe tell you a little bit about
I would love to-
this magnificent instrument.
Yeah, because look at, I don't know if we can do a pan up here. Look at this
Please do.
thing. This is beautiful.
Please do.
We should start walking this
We
way.
will. So this organ is nearly 60 years old, of course, built at the time of the chapel. And in terms of like some facts, we're looking at about 3,800 pipes inside of there.
That's a lot of pipes.
Yeah. So, when you see this, you're kind of seeing just the front facade. And you can see some nice tall ones. There's a lot of really short ones. That's where we get all of those numbers from.
Yeah.
And
Are they each named?
yeah, Gloria, Agnes. No, they would. A set of pipes would have a particular name. Like this is the Geigen principle, the stringy principle. And the interesting thing, the reason there's so many pipes is because there's 61 notes on an organ keyboard. Each stop, if you will, has to have a pipe for each key on the keyboard. So it just gets its multiplication.
Those were all words that I feel like make sense to someone who knows how an organ works.
It's
Oh my
probably-
gosh, look
yeah,
at
you
it
got to
here.
come in here. We don't always have visitors, but if you just kind of peek up, so I can use nice, accessible words too, like.
That's okay.
I'm just kidding. So, what's magnificent about the organ is we have very large pipes that create those very low sounds. And, in the back here we have some that are 16 feet tall. So that's kind of the top.
16 feet.
16 feet tall, right. And then, if you were to peek around the corner, you see all of these little tiny pipes that make the really high sounds. And so you just get all of these multiplications.
Is it part of the cantor of Christ Chapel's job to come in and clean each of these pipes? Like, do you have a brush that
Thankfully, no cleaning. As I mentioned, this organ is 60 years old, so I do have to come up every once in a while and do some interesting repair work. And it's kind of, we have a nice person in town who can come over, but if this is like a pinch, like 30 seconds, I have taken like vice grips and hung them from things to try to keep something open. Fascinating things. Yeah. Nope.
This is obviously Give to Gustavus Day. This organ is beautiful and it's in beautiful condition, and yet it is also 60 years old. And so, if you're thinking about a gift to Gustavus, think about how you might be helping make sure that this organ is here
Absolutely.
and isn't held together just by vice grips for the next 60 years, but is thriving and usable and beautiful for generations to come.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
this
you.
wonderful tour and a little bit of music, and this is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
This is cool. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Hi, I'm Tane Danger. It's Give to Gustavus Day. We've been touring all kinds of interesting spaces and places. One place people have, fond memories of, or at least some sort of memories, is the basement of Christ Chapel. And so we're going to go down into, the bowels of the chapel. Chapels can have bowels. It's a healthy, natural part of any living system, which the chapel is. I feel like a lot of people who have been in choir and music, know this place. Even though it's a little weird, this painting, this picture, look, Blessed Sister, Holy Mother, Spirit of the Fountain, Spirit of the Garden, suffer us not to mock ourselves. Well, Oh, not mock ourselves with falsehoods. I was about to say, not mock ourselves, and like, what am I doing here? Anyway, one of the things I really did want to bring us down here for was the bathrooms, because everybody's like, oh, these are the weirdest bathrooms in the entire Gustavus campus. I think it's just because they're old, but I wanted to pop back in, because I probably haven't been here since I was a student, to see if the Christ Chapel bathrooms are as weird as people say they are. Anyway, it's Gift to Gustavus Day, so make your donations now.
Hey Gusties, welcome back. It's Give to Gustavus Day. We were just entertained there by Tane in the basement of the chapel, walking in on Gus, combing his mane. And we here are sitting being entertained just like all of you. Wherever you're tuning in today, welcome back to our Give to Gustavus Day live stream. I'm Angela Erickson, class of 01, Director of Alumni and Parent Engagement, and a former Gustavus student athlete. I played tennis here, and I'm super excited about this segment because we've got 4 female student athletes here on the stage to talk about the fact that 1972 represented hallmark legislation for women in collegiate sports, Title IX. And since we're coming up on that 50-year anniversary, we wanted to just lift up and celebrate what's cool about the fact that we have been, bringing student athletes here to Gustavus before that time, right? And Gretchen can talk a little bit about that, but after it was sort of made official and ushered in, all of the opportunities and the really fun memories that have transpired since for so many student athletes. I'll give you just a second to introduce yourselves for those of you out there that don't know who's with me.
Gretchen Kohler, coach extraordinaire, came in 1968 and was part of the revolution of 72.
Perfect.
I'm Sarah Walter. I teach in communication studies. I'm also an O2 alum, and I played golf when I was at Gustavus, so I've been here since 2005.
And I am Rochelle Sheridan, the volleyball coach at Gustavus in my 12th season, and an alum of, I'll just leave that unnamed institution.
Oh, no. Yeah,
good idea. Proud alum of St. Thomas. I just can't say it too louder.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. We love you anyway.
I know,
because you're giving our Gusty athletes lots
Yeah.
of wonderful opportunities and great experiences.
Absolutely.
Well, Gretchen, okay, take us back for a minute. 50 years ago, or even before that, like you say, during that revolutionary time, what was it like to have female athletes? What did it mean to those Gusty women that were on campus at that time? What are some of your fondest memories of that day?
Yeah, it was a tremendous time for the athletes, the women that came from their high school programs into Gustavus, where they had much more of an opportunity to participate than they did in high school. But they also didn't have as many skills as today's athletes. So it was a good time for me to coach because I'm a teacher and I can break things down and teach, anything. So I came in 68. There was a call for a physical education position here at Gustavus, and a dancer applied and a male applied for the physical education job as well as myself. So since they were interested in starting women's athletics and wanted someone who could jump in and do something to improve the program or start the program, having been a 9-sport athlete at Winona State University, even on a limited basis, I probably knew more about a lot of things than any of the kids or the players that would be coming in. But that wouldn't be true today if I came in with those same credentials.
Right.
So Title IX was a real eye-opener for us because we started very small, but I got to say, Nancy Baker and Lloyd Hollingsworth were in favor of promoting women in sports. And so we didn't have a big log at the top that said, oh, you can't do that. I mean, that's not right. We don't have that kind of money. We didn't, see things change immediately because we had to sort of build into the program. But, the law said if there was a need and an interest and if there were discriminatory practices, that we needed affirmative action in order to bring up the people or the groups that were downtrodden, so to speak, or not given as many opportunities. All our kids wanted was opportunities to have good equipment, to have good coaching, to have good facilities. And so that brings me to the 4 sports that I coached, volleyball, tennis, basketball, and softball. And volleyball, we're sitting in the gym where we played competitively on half the gym. And when we practiced on half the gym because gymnastics was practicing on the other half of the gym.
Yep.
And we had an illegal backcourt, we had an illegal ceiling, but we played competitively here. There were teams came to play us here, and we had a distinct advantage because the facility was not proper. So eventually we got over.
But you knew how to work it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Eventually we got over to Myra Memorial Fieldhouse, but we had issues there with how to set up the net and if they would allow us to put volleyball lines on the basketball court. God forbid. So we figured out how to get the net strung up with big long cables to the outside walls, cement bases with wheels that we could roll out there so we could get the height of the net fairly close. But that was a problem because the court was elevated and there were little dugouts along the side of the court. So anytime anybody came to play, we had to tell them to be careful when they chased errant balls off the court that they wouldn't fall off the court and hurt themselves.
Nice.
And that was true for our players too. But, you know, interestingly enough, we hardly ever practiced at Myram. We practiced here and then went over to our game court, which we hardly ever practiced on. But we did it, and it was fine. For basketball, we always played in Myram because it had basketball lines on the floor, and it took a lot to get the volleyball lines there. And they once they put them down, they were the same color as the floor. They were orange. But, you know, if you're a player, you know where the lines are. But they weren't real dominant. So basketball, we always played at Myram, but we always practiced late because the men practiced early and we practiced late. There were no locker rooms there for us. There were male locker rooms and an athletic training sorta facility in the middle of the men's locker room. So we had no access to athletic training, but we did have access to a court that was legal and full size. So that was good. When teams came to play, they would cordon off one of the men's locker rooms so the visiting team could dress. Our kids dressed in the dorm and came over and played. Tennis, we had no indoor facilities. We would rent space in Owatonna or Mankato, indoor space at a cost to us, and then I'd have to drive them there. And when we did try to play in here, we put up a net in Alumni Hall where the closing doors are. We strung a net, and the backcourt was very tight, but we did get a full tennis court in here. And we also tried to put up a net in Myram. Steve Wilkinson, God bless him, he would do anything to give his players a chance to play and practice, and that helped us as women because we, followed on his coattails. But that too was not a good situation. You don't play tennis on slick wood floors, at least not well.
No,
but we
no.
were able to practice, and that allowed us, some advantages there. So tennis and basketball sort of contained softball. The softball field was really interesting. It was the front lawn of where the president's house is now. We had a backstop and a fairly good field, except when you got to center field, there was a small pine tree in center field. And so when the visiting teams came, we had to say, now, the pine tree is in center field. Don't hit it or don't run into it while you're chasing our fly balls. Of course, our kids always tried to hit the ball toward the pine tree.
Of course.
Yes, as you should.
Yeah.
As one would.
Yeah.
But, when you think about the facilities that we have now for volleyball, basketball, tennis, I mean, the people who are playing here now just would have no concept as to what's going on there.
I love it. Those stories are so fun. Sarah, I want to talk to you for just a second because I know you've done some research, sort of on the academic side of women in sport. And one of the things that, you and I have maybe talked about before is sort of the misperception about these opportunities for women taking away from opportunities for men. Can you talk just briefly about that and sort of clearing that up as a misconception? inception.
Sure, yeah, and that's I think Title IX offers obviously a chance for women's and men's experiences to be equal. It doesn't necessarily have to be equal numbers in terms of the budgets and that sort of thing, but it has to be equal quality, I guess I would say, so locker rooms and uniforms and that sort of thing. So I think the perception is giving, equal whatever money or experience to women is something that takes away from men's, but I think because men's basketball, and we're mostly at the Division I levels where we look at our research, basketball and football take up so much of that budget that it's hard to offset. So sometimes the non-revenue sports will get cut, and it's because of kind of the way that the money is allocated in different sports that take up a lot of those funds. And so it's not necessarily the fault of the women's programs or the women's sports, but it has to balance out kind of overall.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's fascinating, and it's really interesting to see how far things have come, not just at Gustavus, clearly with the stories that you're telling, Gretchen, right? The facilities, the opportunities, et cetera. But Ro, let's talk for a minute about what it means to be a Gusty student athlete today, as a coach, and some of the young women that you're coaching as a volleyball coach here. You've got great shoulders, right? Shoulders of giants that you're standing on, which is really remarkable. What does it mean for your student athletes today to be part of that tradition?
I mean, it means everything. I think any student that's involved in any sort of extracurricular organization, it's a huge part of their education. And to be a student athlete here, we tell those prospective students that are looking it's so special because of the support you get not only from former alums, coaches that both come to our matches. President Bergman, who wears her volleyball jacket and is getting the football guys to rile up for our matches. Just like the opportunity, and I think, just want to thank Gretchen for everything that she's done for our sport and all women's sports, but she's still there supporting and how much that means and the stories that she's shared with our girls, because they don't know that, what it's like. They don't. And sometimes we complain about things, and that really helps put things into perspective. But I think just being in such a supportive community, having faculty and staff being at, the matches and all of that benefit, having females, to look to, and to just see in those positions, knowing that if they can do that, that I can do that, is super important, which is what I've had. Seeing Carrie and President Bergman and women here at Gustavus in leadership roles and Gretchen has been huge, and same for our student athletes as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this conversation hasn't been nearly long enough. This is just a foretaste of what's to come because, like I said, May of 72 was the actual, will be the anniversary of Title IX. We're planning to commemorate women in sport at homecoming next year. So mark your calendars, right? And make sure that you come on back to campus next year in the fall. We're going to be talking all about this stuff. We're going to let Gretchen tell all
More
of
stories.
the stories. I mean, it's just
love it.
It's just so rich. And like you say, for those who have experienced a different era of being a student athlete here at Gustavus, it just is so enriching to hear those stories. And I too extend my gratitude to you, Gretchen, and the other trailblazers that got us off on the right foot here at Gustavus. With that, I'm going to toss it over to a video. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. Go
you. Thanks,
Gusties.
Angela.
Go Gusties.
Go Gusties.
I understand I'm going to learn kayaking, and so I dressed appropriately for how I assume kayakers both traditionally and currently dress for what they do.
I feel bad to say you're wrong, but
well, then don't.
We can do it this way.
This is good. This is good because I mostly want to learn kayaking for, the plunder part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Tane.
I'm Mark. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Very excited. We're going to kayak in a pool.
We are. It's a great learning spot.
That's good.
And it's safe.
That's nice.
And so whether you've learned how to swim or not, you can generally stand up in the pool.
That's good.
And I thought the first thing we'd do is have you do a wet exit.
Okay.
Do you know how to swim?
I do know how to swim.
Heard you were part of the swim team.
I was a diver, but you still have to know how to swim.
Yeah, you have to get back to the edge.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Oh! And look at it. I'm still completely dry. That's impressive.
That'll be a short-term thing.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. What's going to happen here?
All right.
Okay.
You're going to go over.
Oh no, why? Is there like an onboarding ship that's
Because
coming?
you wouldn't need to exit in the water if you didn't go over.
That's true. Okay.
When you go over, you're going to pull this off.
Okay.
The water's going to flood into the boat.
Got it.
And then you're going to do a forward roll to pull your legs out.
Forward roll? Oh,
Yes.
I'm not with the kayak, just me.
You're going to come out of the boat when you're going to put your hands at your hips.
Got it.
Push and do a forward roll.
Got it. Okay.
That'll pull you out of the boat.
Okay, so 1, 2, and then kind of like roll 3.
And then going to the surface for air would be a great move after
That's
that.
4. Okay, air.
That one's sort of a natural.
Yeah, okay. So yank, I'm ready to go.
That's exactly.
This is fine.
And I'll be here if something goes wrong.
Okay, I trust you.
Foolish.
Okay, ready? Ready, set, here we go. Oh, do I flip myself? I thought you were going to flip myself.
I could, but...
No, you want me to. Okay, so I just roll. Okay, here we go. Ah!
Perfect.
Just like all pirates. Just fine. Well, you know, this is how...
You're halfway to a passing grade in kayaking.
Halfway?
Halfway. Well, I gotta see if you can paddle yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, while I'm drying off, I'm gonna just say, this is Give to Gustavus Day, and, you know, Gustavus is really important because it teaches you all kinds of things. I'm just making sure my pants are still on, like, you know, communication skills, pirating skills, but also life-saving kayak skills. So, thank you so much for teaching me how to, like, escape this kayak, because now I know, and now I'm much less likely to drown in a kayak.
Do you want to paddle it while you're in here?
Yeah, of course I want to paddle it. How else am I going to board another kayak if I don't paddle it here? Oh, I don't want to crash into you.
Welcome back, Gusties. Great to see you again, and great news on the Midday Power Hour. We got 202 gifts so far, which has pushed us up and over our $100,000 mark. Things are going smoothly and beautifully. Keep making those gifts. And someone asked me, Tom, can I check more than one of the challenge tiles? Of course you can. Check all of them that apply. It seems unreasonable that you could do an early Gusty and a 50-year club, but you can do just about all of them if they apply to you. So keep checking the ones that do. Our total right now, $110,430. We've almost got $20,000 of the $100,000 Board of Trustee match, but now we're still looking at a couple of states. And we still need to hear from our friends in Oregon, Nevada, Kentucky, Alabama. And over lunch, when I wasn't on air, I talked to President Bergman to see if she needed me to go to Hawaii to get a gift. But please, Hawaii. We know it's beautiful there. We know the weather's probably awesome. Take about 30 seconds and make a gift so that we can turn that state gold. In the meantime, I am super jazzed to welcome my classmate from the great class of '88, Jonas Van Hecke, our Dean of Students. And I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about. I thought we were going to talk about all the reasons why it's awesome to be a member of the class of '88. And so I had a list that I put together that we could go over.
Yeah, my list is a little longer than that.
Well, we don't have that much. This is the annotated version. So we're not going to do that today. Jonas, love to talk to you a little bit about the opportunities, the joys, and the challenges of being Dean of Students, especially for the last 18 months that we're probably going to call 24 months pretty soon, and how things are going for your department. But maybe first, not to go back to '88, but how does the Dean of Students office look different today in 2021 than it did 20 years ago in '88, maybe 30 actually?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the major differences is that the work of the division is a little bit more specialized than it was when we were students. So while some things are the same, we still have residential life, we still have student activities. We also have things that look a little differently now. Our Gusty Well office, and I know that Laura Herbst Johnson will be talking to you a little bit later, looks a little bit different than it did back in the good old days. And just the infrastructure. I think that we're driven a little bit more now by governmental guidance than we were back in the 80s. But I think the thing that doesn't change about Gustavus is a student-centric, student-focused prioritization of the learning experience. And that's been true through the ages.
Nice. To state the obvious, Gustavus is still a residential college. And is that still relevant in 2021? How do you think about that?
Yeah, it is absolutely relevant. And one of the reasons that it's important is that we know as researchers in higher education that the way that a student engages with their undergraduate experience tends to be deeper and richer when they have on-campus live-in experiences that augment the classroom experience. And so in that sense, the fact that you come to Gustavus and you live on campus and you really immerse yourself deeply in the culture of the place rather than just being somebody who, commutes in for a class and disappears again. You're having a quantifiably different kind of college experience. And it's one of the reasons that professionally for me, but I think also, as a sense of identity for Gustavus, we really value the idea that our students live on campus or live very close in the St. Peter community.
Is that why we talk mostly of co-curricular rather than extracurricular these days?
Absolutely. We think that learning takes place, throughout the fabric of somebody's college experience, definitely in the classroom, but also beyond that. And so much of the division of student life is about that experience of learning outside the classroom.
So we may as well jump in. How have the last 18 months been for our students, and how have you adapted to provide them a great Gusty living and learning experience?
It was tough. Last year, 18 months ago, the spring when students went home earlier than anticipated, that was tough. It was tough to say goodbye to them. It was tough to see them leave. And then when we came back to campus last fall, while we were very excited that we were able to find a safe way to be in person and have so many of our students living on campus, the social distancing obligations that were in place were hard. And I've talked to so many of our students who, while happy that they were able to be on campus, just felt like last year was a really odd blip in their college experience. So we're so excited that this fall we've been able to have vaccines and use the things that we've learned through medical science and through the Minnesota Department of Health, in letting us have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more freedom back toward that typical Gustavus experience. We're not quite completely there yet. We're still wearing masks on campus. We're still being really cautious about testing, especially for our student athletes and others on campus, but I think we're honestly relieved that we're not having such a restricted experience like we did a year ago.
My it's my own made up number. I feel like we're about 90 to 95% back to a normal experience. More masking indoors than we have, but you and your team have done an absolutely remarkable job for our students.
One of the things that I loved about this fall was we really thought this summer a lot about our current sophomore class and the fact that their introduction to Gustavus last fall, or a year ago in the fall, was just unlike any other previous generation of Gusties because of social distancing guidelines and because there were so many things that we couldn't do. So we did a repeat this fall on new student orientation for this year's sophomores. And we did a president's banquet for them, and we did a square dance because, you can't meet your life partner if you don't go to the Gustavus square dance. So the sophomores got to have their own square dance this fall, and just a handful of other programming that we did for them. And I'm so glad that we were able to do those things, and we were able to really take some of those kind of most important Gustavus experiences that are associated with orientation and recreate them for our sophomores this fall.
Fantastic. Time flies when you're having fun. It's time to bring this segment to an end.
That was
We're still looking for those 5 states. Keep making those gifts. We're grateful for all the support you're providing, and you're helping her work directly with our students with your gifts. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Go Gusties. Thanks, Jonas.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi, I'm Tane Danger. I am here for Give to Gustavus Day with Glenn. I'm very excited to talk to you. I'm about to get to, but Glenn, what do you here at Gustavus?
I am a professor in history and Scandinavian studies, and I'm also the director of Russian East European Studies and Midday currently.
So all of that sounds terribly impressive, and I'm not going to ask you about any of it because
That's
what
fine.
I really want to know about is this amazing collection of shoes that you have brought for us. And why do you have this many Converse shoes?
So this is only a small sample of what I have. I actually have more than 100 pair at home, in all different colors. It started for me when I was a graduate student and wanted to show that I had a professional side, so I would always wear a collared shirt and a sport coat, perhaps a bow tie like your spiffy one there. But I wanted to show I had a fun side as well, and so I wore Converse. And it was a big hit with people, and so I just started buying more, and it kind of spiraled into a whole closet. But I've noticed when I am teaching, sometimes students will, as I enter the room, just kind of look over their desk to see what color it is today or what style today. So it's just a fun way to connect.
That is fun. And I compliment your style. This is very good. At some point, you and I, we should have like a shoe fashion show.
There we go.
School. Like we could build that into like one of the departments could like put this conference on.
Absolutely.
Can you talk us through the sampling that you brought here? Maybe we should start down here.
Sure. So I wear them year round. It's pretty much all I wear at this point. And so there are some that are more wintry. And so that's one of the pairs of boots that I have.
I did not know they did Converse winter boots.
Yeah, they have some that are insulated even, some more that have better traction on the soles. So a lot of different variety with that.
Okay, these are like fun. This is for a luau or something, or a party out at the beach. It feels like. Or...
Yeah. So I'm always on the lookout for either ones that are on sale or ones that are completely unusual. And I hadn't seen something like this before, where it's kind of embroidered flowers on them even. And just really liked the uniqueness of them, and so that was what attracted me to those.
Now these two, we started with, these are high tops.
Yes.
This is now the low top. Do you have, is it just, it depends on the day, or do you have one that feels more right for your foot ankle?
I typically prefer the low tops, but some of the styles are better in the high tops.
Yeah.
And so I do gravitate to some of those just because of, I couldn't find a low top in that style, for example.
That's fair. But these low tops also, these are pretty businessy. Like you could do a job interview in these.
Yeah, you find out that every now and then it's not always appropriate to wear sneakers to an event.
Maybe.
And so I saw this pair of leather with the black soles and kind of can pass as dress shoes, perhaps, if there's an occasion where I need to be a little more formal.
That's fair. But you took the laces out.
They're actually slip-on, so you don't need the laces at all.
Wow.
In this one.
What? And yet dressy. I can slip
Still
in and
dressy.
out.
Absolutely.
Now we're getting to the exciting part.
Yes.
Because this is a Gustavus Converse high top. Look at, there's actually 3 crowns on here. How is this possible?
So I was here for the sesquicentennial.
Thank you for saying it correctly. That was good.
And I figured that I wanted to have something, since I was so known for the Converse, I wanted to have something that was specifically Gustavus and for the sesquicentennial. And I had a rubber stamp with the 3 crowns on it. And so I got some fabric paint and put it with the crown logo on them.
And so you made these?
I did. So just a regular pair of black Converse that I put the stamp on.
Oh, that is super cool.
So that's the only pair that I've actually customized in that sense.
Okay, and that's it. And then here, one.
And I should also mention, I actually wore these when I had when I met the King and Queen of Sweden too. So
were they impressed?
They probably didn't even notice.
I doubt it. I bet you anything they were like, that guy. Like, if we ever get to give out like some land, some fiefdom somewhere, that guy's got the shoes for it already.
I'll be sure that they have my number.
Yeah, that's good. And then. Last but not least, you have these actually say Gustavus on them.
They do. So you can actually customize Converse on their website and order them. And I had done a customized one with the color combo for my wedding. And one year I decided that it would make a great customization for homecoming. And they also have the embroidery on the side, so I was able to put Gustavus on the side of them.
That is super sweet and super cool. And so you say you've got more than 100 of these. Listen,
yes.
I want to show you. I am wearing Converse today, so like I don't want to like I have this pair, but then just because I knew we were gonna meet, I again don't want to brag, but on top of this pair, I've also got this exactly the same pair. Except in a slightly larger size because they no longer had it in this size. But it's very good. So, you and I.
Very impressed.
Birds of a feather.
And, if you have a color that works for you, why not continue with it?
Right. And I just need like 98 more.
Absolutely. But I am impressed that they're not the plain black because you have such a vibrant personality that black just wouldn't cut it, I think.
Thank you so much. That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said about my shoes, I think. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Thank you for showing us this. I feel like there's a lot of people who probably know that you do this, but they haven't gotten the story about it. So.
Yeah, I think that it's, I definitely have a reputation from it. Hopefully students see that I actually do have a fun side as well, that it's not always about business, that learning can be fun and studying that with the fashion.
Okay, one last thing I'm going to ask.
Sure.
It's Give to Gustavus Day, and hopefully people are making generous financial contributions to the college. And if somebody wanted to send a very beautiful custom pair of Converse shoes, is there any particular ones that you have been like looking for, or you're like, oh, someday I hope that I can get a pair like this?
Oh, I don't know. That baffles me. I'm always looking for something that is incredibly unique. So something that you typically don't see in stores. That is what I'm on the lookout for.
All right, people, especially I will say all you cobblers out there, if you are in the cobbling business and can put together a very custom, beautiful pair of Converse, send them to Gustavus, along with your financial support for the college. Those two things. It's Get to Gustavus Day, so thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.
This was fun. All right, thanks, everybody.
I'm geographically challenged.
Hello. Welcome back. We're live now. This is very exciting. That was me taped. This is live. I'm Tane Danger. I'm actually very excited about this segment. I have got a group of folks here who are going to talk to us about Gusty Well. But first, would you each mind introducing yourselves?
Yeah, hi, my name is Shay Archambault. I'm a senior here at Gustavus. I'm a history and political science double major, and this is my 3rd year as a PA.
Cool.
Yeah, my name's Laura Herbst Johnson. I am the director of the Gusty Well, and I am going into my 5th year here at Gustavus.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hi, my name is Cassie Ramerth. I am the substance use educator / wellness coach here, and this is my 1st year at Gustavus.
Oh, wow.
So,
congratulations.
yeah,
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you liking it? We are on camera.
Yeah, right. No, I love it, and you know what? I work hand in hand with Laura and the PAs, and so that makes my job even all the better.
Okay.
So it's great.
So I'm excited to talk about this. Can you, just for folks watching at home, give us an overview what Gusty Well is?
Yeah, good question. So we kind of serve as a campus hub for all things prevention and wellness education. So we focus on topics that we know significantly impact our students here. So we look at mental health and stress management, substance use, healthy relationships, what that looks like, sleep, moving your body, physical activity, nutrition, all of those things. And we lean into institutional data, national data. What are the health habits and trends of both our students at Gustavus? How does that compare to national students and what they're doing? And we really work hard to bridge the gap between students and their personal well-being. So we know that students who are well physically, emotionally, mentally, when they are well, they do better. And so the minute that those students step onto campus at Gustavus, we want to interface with them and we want to help them be successful here at Gustavus, but also beyond. A lot of these lifestyle habits, carry forward. And so whatever we can kind of set the stage for now, build that foundation, hopefully they will take with them outside Gustavus as well.
And I have to make this sort of like connection. It's Give to Gustavus Day, obviously. We're raising money for the college, which I think probably a lot of people think about in terms of like, oh, I'm helping support academics or sports or whatnot.
Right.
This is like a terribly important part of what the experience of being a member of this community is, and making sure students really can succeed from the beginning through their graduation.
Yeah, absolutely. We try to embed that personal responsibility within our students and help them understand and resonate, why is your well-being, why is your wellness important to you now? Because students come here and they're very focused on their academics.
Right.
And so we look at the co-curricular engagement and education and that hands-on experience that, can really go hand in hand with being successful on the academic side.
Can I ask you, I imagine a lot of folks are thinking back to their own college days and thinking about things that they did that were well or not so well maybe at times. And, that's fun and that's fair.
Yes.
But I am curious, maybe, what are some of the things that you focus on now that maybe weren't focused on 5, 10, 15, 30 years ago?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So first and foremost, I work with referral students, for policy, kind of infractors, as well as voluntary students for substance use. On the wellness coach side, I really focus on 7 key areas of wellness, overall balance in life. Now, these past 2 years have just been up and down and just crazy with COVID things. So we see a lot of isolation. We see a lot of disconnect in our community. So we really kind of try to balance that with our students and say, okay, how can we get involved in community? How can we, get involved with friends again? How can we bridge that gap? Some other things, that we work on, our students are intelligent here and they like to study. Yeah. That's so great. But we also want that balance with fun. We want our students to be having fun. So that's something that I see that, I was definitely more of the partier, like the fun category was totally checked off and super complete. And the academics were down here. We're at Gustavus, I'm seeing the opposite. We have that academic category checked, but we need to maybe go for a walk in the Arb, maybe go for ice cream with friends after studying, things like that. So overall balance.
And that is a totally true thing that I'm so grateful that you encourage students to do. And I actually, when I do talks and share things with adults, people out in the world, like I'm often like, you have to make fun in your life because it's such an easy thing to forget, and it is part of like being healthy.
Yes.
So you have a unique kind of role because you are both helping with this wellness piece and you are like within the student body, like you're there connecting. And so I'm curious, like what are the things that you hear or that people maybe come and talk to you about that maybe they don't talk to somebody else about?
Yeah, you're definitely right. As a student, we see all sides of it, especially being a PA. I completely get when my peers come to me and they're like, I am super stressed about that exam. Like, I don't even know where to start studying. And I'm like, you know what? I totally get that. But it's been so amazing to have this experience as a PA and be like, I completely understand where you're going through, and I can't even imagine how stressed you are about this test, because me too, but let me share some resources with you. Are you stressed that you don't have enough time? Like, let me guide you to the academic support center and let's get you that help. Do you just need someone to talk to and rant about? Like, let me be that peer for you and let's just sit and rant in the courtyard over coffee. Do you need maybe a little bit more help? Is it something that maybe is tied back to mental health struggles, or are you not getting out enough? Are you lonely? Like, let me guide you to the counseling center. So as a peer, I love it because I completely relate with everything they're going through. I get it. But being able to also be a PA on the side, like, I feel really empowered to help them find the help that they need and get those resources.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you for this work. I will say for myself, this has been like a journey for me in terms of my own like wellness and mental health over the years, and the fact that you all are helping students actually figure that out now at such a formative time in their lives is so important. And I'll just again kind of frame it. This is what you're supporting by supporting Gustavus. Yes, it is about being academically excellent and having amazing sports and having some of the best facilities in the region, if not the country, but it is also about actually helping make sure that young people who come here have the tools and the things that they need to be successful for the rest of their lives. And that's directly what you are supporting and making happen when you give to Gustavus today. So thank you all so much for being here and the work that you do. Thank you to everybody who is watching right now and giving. And we hope that you all will donate generously to make sure that this kind of good work can keep happening all year and for many years to come. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Hi, it is Give to Gustavus Day, and I'm here with Kari, Compost, Waste, and Environmental Sustainability Manager, and we're going to talk about the very first part of her title, compost. We're going to actually compost this coffee. So Kari, can you just tell me a little bit about composting at Gustavus?
Yes, composting's a big deal here. So we can compost these coffees in these compost kirbies right here.
And look at their Gustavus colors.
They are Gustavus
Yeah,
colors.
so, you know, if you want to recycle your food, just look for the gold and black.
Look for the gold and black, exactly.
Can make
so
it right.
compost gets picked up from dining services by our tool cat here.
Wow.
It goes back to our composter. Tane's gonna take a ride. Can I put this in here? Yes, you can.
I actually really needed that coffee. It's okay. Oh, I'm going to get in this thing. Oh, look at my chariot. Oh, I am going to go to the P-ball in this. Hi. Hello. Thank you very much. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go for a ride now. Do you want me to just, I'm going to just take this camera. That's fine. Hi. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. So, hi there. Okay. Hi, what's your name?
Adam.
Hi, Adam. I'm Tane. Okay, look at, I don't know how to turn this camera around. The camera's freaking out. Okay, it's fine. There we go. Look at it. It's looking at these things. Oh, look at them go up. That's very cool. And now we're driving forward. I was very much expecting us to go backwards. But where are we putting these?
Up on the loading dock. So
okay.
Switch out the old one or the new one with the old one.
Okay. And then where do they eventually go?
They end up in the compost shed, which is down by the golf facility.
Compost shed. That's where I spent freshman year.
And so we have a big compactor down there, and it all gets, after the compactor gets full, it gets hauled off site to, I think, up by Shakopee.
Shakopee.
Yep, and they do a big industrial composting up there.
That's very cool. And so how many of these are you moving a day?
From food service, 6 to 8, depending on the day, and then around campus, every dorm and every academic building has anywhere from 1 to 3 at each building. So every, on a given day, there's 20 or 30 we're moving, something like that.
That's very cool. Well, Gustavus, very sustainable. Look at all this composting that's going, and that's what your gifts are going towards. Also, probably your gifts will be going towards replacing this camera because I really don't know how to operate it and I'm very nervous I broke it. All right, well, thank you so much for showing me around this. I hope everybody is going to give to Gustavus and that this shot all works out. All right, bye-bye.
This is the midpoint of the Gustavus Acts strategic plan. The blueprint that's guided 5 years of incredible growth. A new $70 million Nobel Hall of Science, which includes a state-of-the-art performance space. A $10 million grant to support the Center for Career Development. More than 300 new scholarships established. A new, groundbreaking general liberal arts curriculum. the largest comprehensive campaign in college history, with more than $180 million in gifts and commitments, and a significant increase in the college's endowment. In just 5 years, we have increased our capacity to serve students, with more opportunities for academic and co-curricular growth, more mentorship and networking opportunities, more undergraduate research opportunities, and more attractive financial aid for stellar students. And we've welcomed our largest and highest achieving classes, with more students from historically underrepresented groups than ever before. In 2020, the world tilted on edge. The push forward has been steeper than anyone imagined. We are Gusties. We do not let up. Here at the midpoint, the momentum builds as we break ground on a $60 million expanded and renovated Lund Center. Hire a vice president for equity and inclusion. Become a zero-waste institution. Increase the Center for Inclusive Excellence space fourfold. And continue to work to secure the resources that will propel the college forward. We are adjusting our blueprint and our actions to meet the great challenges of our time, just as we expect that our graduates will do. We work together, using lessons learned through the liberal arts, guided by our core values of excellence, community, justice, service, and faith. In doing so, we show how we are one of the nation's premier liberal arts institutions. We are Gusties. We act. We will show the world what it means to make your life count.
Hello, everyone. Tim Kennedy here with you, and we are exciting. Every time I see that video, I get goosebumps, and I was part of making it, but I am thrilled to be here and welcome Dr. Kathy Thunheim, Vice President for Innovation here at Gustavus, and one of the key individuals that's driving this strategic plan at the college. And you are the heavy hitter. You're the cleanup hitter of this segment today. We're wrapping it up, so a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a little pressure
I've
on
been
you.
called worse, TK. I'll take that one.
Well, I'm really excited to talk to you about this. And even though 7 minutes is too short for us to talk about strategic plan, I want to get to it because it is obviously the main plan right now that is driving this institution, and it's had probably an institution that has more momentum than any institution of its kind in the country right now. And you're a big part of that, so thank you for that work. So let's get to it. Talk about what you've been up to. So we're in the middle of this 10-year strategic plan. And we have just now kind of kicked off Acts 2.0. Right. And so I want you to tell us and share with us all the amazing work that you're doing.
Well, it has been an honor and a privilege to work at Gustavus now for 15 years, but I've been involved with the Gustavus Acts plan for about 5. And we started out in 2016. You've probably seen this.
I like this.
My dog eared. We've been using it a lot. It's not memorized, but we're close.
I've seen you open it quite a few times, so I can attest to that.
And the joy of this is it's not just me. I mean, we had about 150 faculty, students, alumni, and staff involved in putting the plan together. It started in 2016. President Bergman wanted it to be a 10-year plan to finish in 2026. So you're right. We are at midpoint. And she very smartly said, I think we need a refresh. So just before the pandemic, we used a shared governance model, and we took the plan and we did some listening sessions with faculty, staff, students, alumni, and said, what needs to change? What's working? What needs to change? And what we realized is we had accomplished a lot in those first 5 years. We have made significant gains in putting money into the endowment, $10 million a year for 5.5 years. It's really impressive. And $250,000 a year for scholarships. I mean, it's all about students at Gustavus. We have, the Center for Inclusive Excellence. We really revamped that. That's been beautiful. A new website. You've been a big part of that. The wayfaring, all the beautiful signs around campus. We've worked on faculty and staff compensation plans, trying to raise those. We have many, many accomplishments. But at the midpoint, we kind of know we need to fuel this plan. And with the pandemic hitting, what I saw from a number of other peer institutions, a lot of them took this during the pandemic and put it on the shelf. And we didn't do that here at Gustavus. We kept meeting our leaders. We have 10 strategies in the plan, and we have about 3 leaders for each strategy. We meet once a month, and we're always trying to continuously improve this. So at this point, in year 6, we've needed to make a few tweaks, and the 2 tweaks we needed to add were environmental sustainability. All of our constituents said that is just so important today for Gustavus, and the second one is technology. So Gustavus Technology Services has joined our team and helped us work on some more strategies. So we are pushing hard to finish strong for the next 4.5 years.
You know, there's so many things that go into a strategic plan. And like you said, many times the complaints or criticisms of strategic plans are that they do go up on the shelf. But to keep them alive, to keep them active, you have to find a way to measure them. And that's not always easy to do. And I know you've been working hard at that. And you mentioned some KPIs, key performance indicators. Could you tell us how you are helping all of us measure the success that we're having with the strategic plan?
So we did bring a Gantt chart model into Gustavus so that within each of the 10 strategies, we have, I think it's 112 KPIs, which sounds like a lot, but that's where the work gets done, is in the details. So once a month, people come and we take turns talking about these. We used an action learning model last year where we would present it and then give each other suggestions on how to continuously improve them. We have a red, yellow, green dashboard by KPI. We report to the Board of Trustees 3 times a year. They're very engaged in this. They care a great deal about this. And we're finding that we need to reprioritize the financial allocation that we have towards the plan. So that's always kind of a work in progress, especially getting students to come to Gustavus, right? We need more heritage scholarships. So many people have generously given to those heritage scholarships. I think it's $3,000 a year for 4 years. Those $12,000 can entice students to come here. We need more heritage scholarships to get more students here. In fact, I'll just share Gustavus Women in Leadership, a program that I and a lot of other women care about at the college. We just, as a National Advisory Board, created our own first heritage scholarship. So, but those are the ways that we measure. And with the Gantt chart, Jean Noreen, who helps me, we know every KPI by every quarter of every year. Some of our projects only last 3 years long. Some are 10 years long. Some are 4 years long. So we've kind of got stops and starts going the whole time, but that really is kind of the fun of it, because you've got a lot of balls in the air and you don't want anything to drop. So it keeps us on our toes.
And it takes, as they say often, it takes a village, to raise a child. It takes this entire community to make this strategic plan come alive. I know that the president is out front and talking with this and talking, not only to our community, but to other presidents around the country and to our alumni. And I know you two work really closely on this. As you look now and you've seen that we've made our way through the pandemic, and knock on wood, right? But we continue to hope that things are going to change. What are a couple of things, as you look ahead in our final minute here, that people should be excited about that could result of the things that we're doing now with these new Acts 2.0 changes?
Yeah. Well, I think the conversations that are happening right now around the table with these 30 SPUR leaders are, how can we even get our work at the college in more alignment, right? From the strategic plan down to the divisional plans, down to actual individual plans. Wow. So that I think we've gotten a little tighter around that, which is a good thing. And then, of course, all the projects in the plan. We want to finish Lend as soon as we can, right? We want to replace all the roofs, right? We want to, there's just so many wishes on the list, but we've got to stay self-disciplined and not let other things come up. We've got to just plan the work and work the plan. I guess that's kind of what I was taught. So.
Well, I think I would like to say, everyone that's watching today, we're asking you to invest in Gustavus and to support us. And I want you to know that we're in good hands. Honestly, Kathy, this is her expertise. She has such a passion for Gustavus, along with the president. I hope that you know that the money that you're giving is going to be considered and used in a way that is really going to propel us forward to be one of the finest liberal arts colleges in this country. So, Kathy, thanks for all your work.
Thank you
and
for
your
the
time
opportunity.
today.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Gift to Gustavus Day. I'm here with Kari.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, you are the Compost, Waste, and Environmental Sustainability Manager. And we're going to talk all about solar panels. We are right now on top of Beck Hall. I interrupted a communication studies class there. Take that. All right, do you want, tell me about these panels.
Yes. So we have, these are photovoltaic solar panels.
Photovoltaic?
Photovoltaic.
So it's like the volcanic energy.
Sure. Solar energy coming down, getting converted into usable energy.
Usable, so,
yep.
And then like all of that just, where does it all go to this building?
Yes,
Is that how,
yes. This all goes into this building, power our light bulbs, electricity, our heating.
That's cool.
And we have solar thermal up there.
Oh wait, what's the
helps
difference?
With heating.
Solar thermal is for heating and like baths.
Sure, hot water, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I take a lot of baths in
There we
class.
go.
So, and just, do you have a sense, like this many solar panels, obviously it's a little bit cloudy today, but like the sun's out and these are all, like how much do these do? Like, is this enough for this building? Is it enough for like me personally and the tanning bed that I bring with me everywhere? Or how should we think about this?
So this is 40 kilowatts, which is not enough for the whole building, but does cover a decent percentage of it.
And this is like a new, I mean, this is obviously one of the newer buildings here on campus. There's construction of Lund over there, but this is part of like a whole new sort of going into the future for Gustavus, being very green, right?
Yes. Beck is LEED Platinum.
Platinum?
Which is the highest LEED accreditation you can get. So it is kind of setting the standard for energy efficient buildings here.
That's very cool. And the folks who are watching right now are probably thinking like, oh, this seems good. I care about the environment and the future. And so their gifts are actually like helping make this possible and make it possible for us to have a college that is environmentally sustainable and not wrecking the planet.
Yes, exactly.
That seems good.
Solar's expensive, so.
Solar is expensive. Please give generously. Thank you so much, Kari. This has been absolutely fabulous. It's cold. Okay, let's go in. I'm Tane Danger, back with Give to Gustavus Day.
And I'm Tim Kennedy, back with Tane Danger, and we are excited to wrap up the afternoon segment. What a fun couple hours this has been.
I hope so. I've gotten a couple text messages. People have said, oh, it's so fun to see you, but see like all these different aspects of campus and getting to kind of peek around corners that they haven't probably seen in a while.
I guess if I had one little piece of advice for you, yes, it would be have some more fun. With it, because I'm just not sure you're doing that.
It's like fun. I keep getting the note. I need more fun and more energy, and like then it'll be good. But we're doing a great. Look at we're doing great today. Like this is very exciting. All the people who have been watching have been donating and helping, and we are getting there. Like we are now down 127,865. That is crazy.
Unbelievable.
That is wildly
unbelievable.
Cool.
We have 3 states left to knock off our 50-state challenge, which is really important. And I'm thinking I'm seeing Oregon there and Kentucky and Alabama. Yeah. So let's go. Those of you Gusties that are out there, please give us a phone call and let's wrap up because when we meet that challenge, that is a very significant addition to our day.
Kentucky, like this is a much better use of your money than horse racing. I'm going to just say. So please donate. Did we just close Kentucky because I made a joke about horse racing?
I think so.
All right, I got to think of something about Oregon. Like, it's much better than bicycling up a hill.
They're out on the trail.
Yeah.
The Oregon Trail, right?
Very good.
How about
like,
that?
They got there.
Yeah.
You got there now. So that you do not get dysentery, please donate to Give to Gustavus Day. And then,
Please no dysentery.
Okay.
And class of 91, you're still leading the class giving for the day, so nice job for that.
I do feel like there must be a lot of text messages going back and forth between the class of 90 and the class of 91. Or no, now it's, when I looked before it was 90, now 89.
Yes.
So these three classes are duking it out for who is going to be the top giver, and 91 is winning right now.
Class of 82, pick me up, please. We got to make a move here because we're not even in the top 10 right now. It has been an amazing first two segments of the day, but I do want to say that for the live portion of this event, Tane is leaving us today.
This is my last live, except that I will be back for the after party tonight.
Yes.
Which is very exciting.
So kind of like Jimmy Fallon, you're going to come on and take over the show.
Yeah, it's like, so for folks who are watching, like, we hope that you'll join us after our sort of official day here is done. We gather back together on Zoom, and, you know, in case you haven't had enough fun yet.
Can you ever have enough fun with you, Tane? I don't think that's possible.
We're gonna gather on Zoom. You should be able to find the link to join us. We'll play some Gustavus trivia. We'll be visited by some celebrity alumni guests, and just sort of celebrate people investing in this community today.
Well, I just want to say, from someone who's been at Gustavus a long time, I'm so grateful for Tane. He gives of his time and energy to help this day and so many other times of the year. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I am grateful to be part of this. It really means a lot, both getting to, you know, help support this place, but really meeting the students and the faculty and the staff here and how much this place means to so many people. I don't know, that gives me life. Like, that is a wonderful, beautiful thing. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for everybody who is powering this place today.
Well, thanks everyone for supporting us for these first two sections of the day. We've got a little break here now for a couple hours, 3 hours, and then we'll finish it up from 5 to 7. Please come back and join us. Thanks everyone for the amazing gifts that you've given us today. We're just about ready to go over 130,000, just about ready to meet the 50-state challenge.
If you know someone in Oregon or Alabama, call them right now. Like, just pick up the phone in the next 2 hours and tell them to make this gift so we get this 50-state challenge done.
Thanks, Gusties. We'll see you in a little bit. See you later tonight.
All right, see you later tonight. It's been great.
Okay, thanks, everybody.